adaptable. I had to go DiCaprio, plain as the wolf. Subtract the hoes, but add some dough. The rooster didn't come to roast. Sabbatical, but back with folks. It's rapid growth. I have a coat, I have a rose. I have some homes. I have to go contractual. Selling those, but not my soul. I sell the clothes to buy some more.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your watch list coming in September 4th, 2019, and the stock market is going to shock investors. I guess better yet, I should say this is how it's going to shock investors, because today we saw something very, very surprising that moved the market. It moved it in a big way, and it was not a Trump tweet. We saw a 400-point drop at one moment, and we closed at negative 285 on the Dow, but this gave us a lot of hints to what we need to look out for. So I'm going to cover that. That is going to pretty much encompass our keys for tomorrow. I'm going to go over the plays that we made today, and then I'm going to go over some of the plays and specific credit spreads that I'll be looking at tomorrow. And again, that's even what we talked about on stream and even what we showed yesterday, why we're going after those in that specific strategy. So let us not waste any time. You guys know what you need to do. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure we see you on the live channel in the morning so we could go over this. We are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. It is the first link in the description and it's pinned in the comments. And then the most important thing you need to do, my friends, post your watch list below. Let us know what you're playing. Let us know what you're looking at tomorrow. Let's source that information. Even one of the plays I made today, someone reminded me on what I was looking at. So shout out to Chad, baby. I love you guys. So right off the bat, what we saw today, and this is what I mean by the title here, this is how the market is going to shock investors. And now this could happen this week, but being a short weekend or week, I'm going to be a little bit more hesitant to it, but we do have to watch out for the levels. Even closing at this 290 and even hanging out between 289 today, this was a surprising level we haven't really seen the last few days. If you see here, this has kind of been no man's land the last 14 days trading in here, so it was very, very weird. We touched around these levels and didn't come down, so that's one thing that's kind of giving us a hint. But you could even see here today we gapped down and then we came down, and this is what I mean by the shock, and this is what I'm going to be watching for in the mornings. And this is going to be even my approach, is that we could get one of these subtle drops where we might gap down or gap up, and this is what's going to shock investors, because after a decent sized gap down, if it doesn't sell the rip and it does something like this and it holds and comes down, we could quickly approach 400, 600 points, and that is going to be the level. If it breaks down 400 points or even breaks going up 400 points, that is going to surprise into a really, really big day. So keep your eye out for that. That's what I'm going to be watching for. And even coming into tomorrow now, the strategy I want to take note of is pretty much this first 30 minutes. It's going to give us an opportunity to sell premium, and I'm going to utilize this credit spread strategy that we've been talking about. If you guys are confused on that, go watch the video we posted over the weekend. It's called the safest, riskiest strategy, so you could take advantage of that. We took advantage of that today, and now again, coming into it, it's already going to be Wednesday. We're already middle of the week, so be careful on the short-term contracts. Be careful with what that is doing to all of the contract prices as well too. And also, don't forget, the markets are looking towards the Fed. That is just right around the corner, especially after this week. But now this was the next thing that was really shocking to today. It shocked the investors. It shocked myself. We were saying on stream, I'm shocked that you're shocked, that they were shocked, and that it shocked investors, and I can't believe it shocked investors, and then other people got shocked, and then I got shocked, and you get the idea. It was weird. The ISM manufacturing came out. So this is something you guys could learn from. Anytime one of the ISM or any of these manufacturing indexes come out, the number to look for is 52. Anything below 52 is signaling a contraction. Now, a contraction is bad, and even then, the ISM manufacturing was expecting like a 51 or like a 50, but we came in at a 49. So not only were we expecting a contraction, we printed a way lower number. So I actually pulled it up here. This is the ISM manufacturing PMI, and any number below 52 is a contraction. But now you can see here, the number we came in today was awful. I think it was a 47.2. Oh, no, it was 49.1. It was that. But man, there are some ugly numbers. But you could see here, the last time we printed around that level was about 2016 and then 2015 in that August. And then besides that, you start going back 2014, 2013. This was an ugly, 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 ugly print. And now what was surprising about this, the market reacted big. This wasn't because of a Trump tweet. It wasn't because of anything of that nature. The market started to come down after this news released. And again, this could have implications for what it means to the rate hike, what it means for the rate cuts, or again, anything that Powell's going to say. This could hint at what Trump's going to say, all sorts of stuff. But the fact that this was just a bad print. So watch out for that. Again, too, on the other side of things, come back to the currencies here. Watch the yuan tomorrow. This is what I'm still worried about if this does start to break out and do something. Again, the USD JPY, but now here it is. This is already going to shock us a little bit. You see today we kind of printed it, but we're below 105. And if we stay below 105, that's going to have a negative implication. And then lastly, watch the euro. This started dropping today. And again, after the ISM number, the dollar made a big move. You know, the euro's coming up right now, but pretty much this is starting to come back. Both the ISM, the USD, JPY, everything, when it starts pointing at these levels, a lot of these numbers are taking us to levels we haven't really seen since 2017 or even earlier. So watch for a break there, even with the euro and the USD, JPY. So those are going to be your keys. So watch out for that and watch how the moves occur in the morning, if there is or is not a gap down, but how that develops and escalates through the day. Because I was even surprised to see how much we were down at one point today. It came out of nowhere, really. So watch out for that. But now let us get into the plays. Right off the bat, again, we are going to hear a lot about these credit spreads. We took it. I don't think it's going to let me show it, but we had that Home Depot credit spread. I don't know if you guys remember that one, but that's the one I even talked about in the video. I'll pull up Home Depot right here. We sold the 227 call and we bought the 230, and it was $1 credit spread. And as you see, these options literally just plummeted, but we sold that credit spread for $100 and we were up $70 today. I think I closed out of it for like 20 something cents. And that pretty much gave us a net profit of 72%. Now I'm still holding one on the other one, but we took it on the Robinhood account. I took my profits on this because we've already pretty much maximized all of the profits and gains on there. And that's something to notice about the credit spread, is that after today, you know, if we held it for the next 4 days, sure, we could have made an extra $30. Again, the difference between these strikes, but it was already down a majority of it. If you're able to get 50, 75% almost instantly, you might as well take it. So there was that. And I'm going to watch back at Home Depot again later this week. Depending on what it does, this is going to be one we might come right back into it. I want to see how it trades, see which premiums hold up. But the risk reward on that one was good. It did drop a lot today, so we have to see how to play that, but I like that one. And then now Walmart, that was the next play we made as well too. And now you can see that one, we have it on here. And again, I'm probably going to take profits on this in the morning. And this one is a smaller one. This one was a smaller one. We were going to sell the 116, 118 and collect $50, but I still had the Home Depot out at the time. So I said, okay, I'll sell one further out the money. And it paid still pretty decent, even though it had like that $200 max collateral, the max risk. But we sold the 117 and bought the 119. So again, you guys could go watch the video with what we did on the spreads, and a lot of people were confused, but simply we shorted the 117 and then we bought back the 119 to protect ourselves. We make money as long as Walmart stays below 117, and this is what happened. Here's the key to it. We made this trade pretty much we made the trade like right here in the middle of the day, and you'll notice Walmart pretty much held up and stayed the same value, but the contract closed up 44%. And this is what I was talking about, that coming into tomorrow now, if in the morning it stays at this 44% or a little higher, I didn't want to use a day trade, I'll probably cut out. You know, it's again, this is just free money. Even if we're making $8 or if we make another $2, $10, whatever it may be, again, this is a smaller account on this side. The goal I'm trying to do is just be able to pay and get cash for some of these smaller plays that we've been doing. And again, it's taking advantage of this marketplace if we are going to be in these ranges. So that being said, now those are going to be some of the plays I'm looking at. And then lastly, I forgot too, we also played Melly. And this play actually went up a little bit. We got the September 20th 470 put for 65 cents. I was scanning through the chain and throwing out orders. I was surprised I got filled, but that 470 is about 20% to get in the money. So in 2 weeks, that's pretty big. But again, it is kind of playing this whole Argentina boomba 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 crisis we got going on. So watch out for that one. I'm not too fond of that play, but it did work in our favor. And again, the options, as we talked about yesterday, those got a little bit cheaper. So keep your eyes out for those. And now moving forward, I'm going to be looking at both credit spreads on some of these plays and some straight up. But as far as even credit spreads, though, here are the ones I'm going to like coming into tomorrow. There's a few. McDonald's is probably going to be my favorite one, either calls or puts. This was one I really liked. I'm hoping if it does come down, we could see. I'm either thinking of a 215, 212 spread. Again, you would sell this at 60 cents, buy at 30. You'd only make 30 bucks, and your max risk is 212. But again, these expire in like 2 days now. And the fact is, for it to go below 215, that's really, the equilibrium's a lot higher, but we'll see. I'm hoping, and this is going to be my strategy on any of these plays, depending on the move, I kind of want to sell into the move and take advantage of premium getting jacked up on a gap up or down in the morning, selling the premium and holding out through that. But watch those, and even on the reverse on the call side, again, depending on how it holds up, you could do the same 217, 220, and this one's showing $1 return, and that's usually what we like to get. So I'm going to watch those ones. I like those. And now this one, again, we might do credit spreads, we might not. It all depends. But Facebook and Google. Now, Google dropped a little bit more. There was a report today that some of the states are coming in to make an investigation on the antitrust. It dropped pretty big, and the volume stayed up there. But I'm going to wait a little bit more, and I want to see how that plays out. Facebook responded as well, too. But again, depending on how these are at in the morning, I'm going to look towards those. And, I forgot, too. Here's another one as far as another one of the credit spreads. Depending on how the market holds up, and again, these are all factors. I'm going to look at September 26th. This could be a credit spread on the SPY, and this would just be taking advantage of that range, 294 to 295. This would be a $100 risk. But so it's not like the same 250 risk or 250 max collateral that we saw in McDonald's, but 294 to 295, you would sell that, collect 30 bucks on there. And the whole point is I'm playing the top end of that range that we really haven't broke out of. And that's saying, hey, we're going to still stay in this box like we have been. So watch out for that. Watch out for Facebook, Google, and then watch Boeing. Boeing made a move. And now this is one I'm going to probably, again, it all depends on if it goes up or down. And we want to see the premiums, because if you guys don't notice with the credit spread, all that you really need is just about the stock. Pretty much you're profiting in a weird way off the volatility. So I want to see where Boeing opens up, but it did drop. It dropped big, and this is something we said to watch out for. So keep your eye out for that. I'm going to watch out for those, and I think those are going to be important. So watch out for those. And now there's also TLT. I think this is going to be important again as we're watching the currencies and even what it did. I think today was very surprising. It did hit a real big high there. Again, it was approaching near the 52-week highs. If this slowly starts to creep up, watch out for that. I think it's very, very important. I'm going to be keeping my eye out for that. The same thing with SLV2. This went up, and I noticed some of the older spreads we have for October, those started to actually really, really get some steam. So watch out for that and see. We might be able to do some credit spreads on that. I don't know. But again, you just have to make sure the risk reward is there. But watch out for silver in general. Silver and bonds and how they're moving are going to be important. Also now, see Bank of America. I was even thinking about doing puts on this one, but I want to wait. But in general, the financials dropped around 2% today. So the overall market closed down 0.5%, but financials really led the way down, and this is very important. Again, anytime we see financials come down, watch energy in conjunction. But watching this was, I think, very, very important. If some of the financials do start to pick up, these could be very good plays. And then now these three are going to be single-handed plays. These ones aren't really credit spreads, and I was even thinking I kind of want to use credit spreads to fund and finance these trades. Lululemon. So Lululemon has earnings. A lot of people are worried. Although there was some good retail earnings, some people are kind of expecting them to play out like Ulta. Now, I'm worried because if everybody has that expectation, I think it might play out kind of positively for them. And I might even want to sell a credit spread again, but I don't think I don't want to overkill it. And that's what you have to be careful with the credit spreads too. But in general here, watch Lululemon. If I could find a good cheap option on the put side, I might take it, but I feel like that's kind of playing into the bias. But a lot of people were worried. It really, really sold off heavy today, and I think people are worried that they could be Ulta or something like that, despite some of the positive earnings. But now on the other side, there's Crowd, and now I like Crowd calls. So both of these, I'm going to kind of look for some YOLOs. Again, Crowd came down a lot, but it's an IPO. This is one of those IPO stocks. It has earnings, and these are all later this week. I think some are going to be tomorrow. I think Crowd might be tomorrow, and then Lululemon on Thursday. But either way, watch both of these. I like the calls on the call side of this, but I'm waiting to see what the pricing is and how the prices look there. But again, in this marketplace with things kind of going back and forth, I just don't want to force anything, especially when we have some great opportunities right around the corner here with the Fed. So watch out for that one. And then lastly, UNH. UNH came up, and now it's finally, you could even see how healthcare was. Cigna went up, and I think Cigna could also be a lagger in that sense. But the fact that it held here, it dropped a lot, came back up. It's now kind of holding, and this is an equilibrium spot. So it could make a big move from here. So I want to watch it both sides. And if it does start to continue down, this is what you want to look for. Is this is the morning when it starts to sell off here, you need to pay attention to these moves, because once it starts selling off And if it slowly starts to edge down after like middle of the day, if it's still down by this point, instead of bouncing or anything, it could continue and lead to a pretty big day. So watch that and watch its peers and the other people in the industry, UNH, Cigna, Anthem, Humana, all that. So there's that. Now let's get to the crazy chart. I think the bottom left I usually save for the crazy stocks or some of the more volatile ones. I don't think I'm going to play this. I'm hoping that it goes crazy so the premiums get high and I could sell premium or do a credit spread. Dude, I'm butchering the credit. Like, literally. Isn't that cool? We find something and just speed it in. So be careful. Watch the video, okay? Paper trade. But Tilray got a buyout rumor. That's what people were saying. It did launch up, and Tilray's very, very cheap. And surprisingly, if you guys remember, we sold that spread a long, long time ago. That play is still in play. If you guys don't remember, we had it. Remember, we played one of those other pop-ups. I sold the 80 call, and we bought the 75. And again, this is what you guys could do if you have contracts. Remember, we bought this contract for $10, and then it shot up. That's a 75 call, but then I sold this one for $13. So again, I made $3, and it gives us a guaranteed gain. So watch out for that. We could close out this trade if we wanted to, because this one's pretty much at max gain, and then wait until the Tilray 75 comes up in value and do something. But in general, I think I just might sell a different spread on there, but watch out for that. I think it's interesting. The premiums are both cheap and expensive. I mean, cheap in the sense that it's not even worth some of the credit spreads. It just doesn't make sense on the risk reward. And, you know, again, some of those 30 calls, when the news first broke, we saw it. I really didn't want to play it, but when it did break, those were pretty cheap, and now they're expensive. So watch how that plays, and if there is news, if there is a lot of hype coming into that, could get interesting. Just because we don't like the stock or anything like that, it may even seem like a rumor. If there's enough hype behind it, we'll see. We might be able to find a play within there. So watch out for that. Same thing as lumber liquidators. There was reports, and now this is a cheaper stock. I looked through the option chain when it was popping tonight, or towards close. I said just get shares on it because it was really hard to play. But they said there are rumors of talking to their board, so they might explore a sale or something like that. The news was kind of sticky, but watch out for LL again. Volume was somewhat big, not as big as like Tilray or anything of those, and you even look historically. Nothing real like too crazy. You've seen stuff like this, but if that does develop, that could be important. So watch out for that. And then lastly, well, here's Beyond. Again, I'm waiting for it to do something, and the fact that the contracts have already decayed because of the short week. The contracts on the weeklies are cheaper, but again, if it doesn't do anything this week, I'm looking for it next week. And lastly, Nvidia. I don't want to forget about this. UMAD posted a cool like daily range thing on some of the stocks yesterday, and I think it really applies here with Nvidia. Nvidia is pretty much expected to move a lot, even looking at the option chain. Some people are still pricing stuff. Remember, it still had that earnings. It's near this 170 ranges, which is important. It's not dropping with everything else. I'd watch out for it. I'd see it. This could be kind of one of those, if there is news, the chip makers, I might look towards them, Nvidia, to make a quick flip on there. So that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you're ready to go. Make sure we see you in the morning. Make sure you're positive, happy, respectful. Post your video. Make sure, just make sure you're hydrated. I love you all. Let's go!